Welcome to Episode 10 of the Mirandus Farmer's Almanac. I am your host, Xana, and co-hosting with me is Wolfie the Wolfenite. First, we start by discussing some of the most frequently asked questions I see, and how we ask those same questions ourselves. After that, we touch a bit on the Mirandus stress test. Then, we talk a bit about the new building being auctioned off by Gala Games, the Sanctuary, and what can we expect from this building. And remember, we are just members of the community, and everything said in these podcasts are purely speculation for fun discussion. All right, let's listen in. Right. Well, all right. So I thought we'd just touch on a few things today. Frequently asked questions, man. So... I get a lot of new guys coming into Gala now more frequently. Because it's getting out there. Word for Gala is getting out there.
Wouldn't it be because it's like on Brave's window every other picture?
Yeah, that too. Right? I seen one. I seen one on Brave the other day too. Something with Gala. I forget what it was, but just again seeing it there on Brave. But I see these common questions that keep coming up, at least in general. What do you think the most common question is for Gala?
When?
Yeah. When game, dude.
When?
And it's more loaded than that too. It's like, they get on the Gala site, they find the Gala site, right? And then there's an option of at least 4 games right now, but you can only play one. And the blockbuster is Mirandus, so they're like, well, how do I play Mirandus, right? Well, Miranda's not out yet, dude. So,
But you can buy a $10,000 farm.
Yes. And that usually pops into the next question, man, is like everything's sold out. Looks like I'm late to this project. So you can't play. A minute. Yeah, you can't play Mirandus yet. It's coming. So when can I play Mirandus? Well, they say, alpha is year end.
End of the year.
Yeah, end of the year. So what do you think alpha is, man? What do you expect from alpha? I think it's bare minimum, dude. It ain't like what we think in our heads what Mirandus is going to be. Okay, the alpha for this is going to launch. I think it's mobile, right? I think McCarthy said he wants us to we can be able to put our deeds down, right? And maybe start doing some crafting or something like that. So yeah. I see this game taking years in development, right? Just slowly just unwinding different parts of the game. I don't know.
Honestly, just from my point of view, from diving into like building mechanics of this, like I've got that it was being built on Unity, so and it's being a low poly, so honestly the only things, I don't really think it's going to take them years.
Yeah,
I think that they'll have it down pretty well. I think the only mechanics of the game, because they want so many mechanics of the game, that'll be the juggle. So they've got to redesign the engine enough to operate the way they want it to function and still run the way it's supposed to. So that is their biggest hurdle at this point, because there's no high details being dumped into this, so which means they're not sending it to 15 different designers and getting the rigs all built all crazy and stuff, and you know what I mean. It'll be simple like you said, but
yeah, I have no idea. I assume right now they're just building foundational work. That was the whole point of the test server. It was just he was testing events.
I'm not going to say that they've bought any kind of what do you call it, assets from the Unity market, but I know that looking in that market area right now, you can see that a lot of game polys look similar to what they're doing, which is why we see like Ember Sword and other games that have similar poly. Yep. I know that they've definitely polished it to make it their own. Looking at it, it doesn't look quite like the other ones.
Well, I think Concept Arts will throw in their unique imprint on it at some point.
So, I think McCarthy could have it down into the time frame that he's wanting, other than that it will be an alpha, so which means we'll see like a lot of heavy mechanics still being tampered with and played with and whatnot. But the basics of the design, as long as they could focus like mainly on the map, get the map knocked down, and then they could get their mechanics in place, contracts built into the background.
I don't know. Like,
60-man team is a pretty good start at this point.
I know dates are pretty rough, man, but you got a good game you can play. Maybe like what, mid 2022, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It will. I can't say I played a bunch of alphas and whatnot. I got keys to Arc, like I said, and that was a scary adventure. Like, at the beginning, bushes kind of just melted and blended out, or just kind of went to where you walked around it and it kind of became like a stick pixel type thing, disappeared on you, killed dinosaurs and they fly away and stuff. So
Sure.
I would assume there's going to be a lot of that kind of weird stuff going on in the start.
Yeah, a lot of fixes going on. So, I don't know.
But
When
we'll
game's supposed to be end of this year. So, we'll see what they have done, what we can play, what's actually playable. It's going to be as much as we win. But it's like you said, like normally that comes with, a lot of people I see pop up next is like everything is, you look at the store for Mirandus, it's sold out, dude, right? And a lot of people are like, I'm late to this. I'm late to this. There's nothing for me here, right? Well, it's important to remember that imagine if you were playing World of Warcraft or any of those games that you like, right? These items that were for sale are just pieces of the game. This is like the land and the buildings, right? You're talking about, just playing the game. There's still items and livestock and all kinds of other stuff that you can do and grind out in this game for whatever else. I'm sure there's further things coming into the store too. I mean, it seems like even the exemplars, right? I'm sure that like there's always going to be something to buy in the store. The problem is as soon as it pops in the store, that shit is gone. It is bought up, man. There's a lot of people waiting in line to buy whatever Gala is selling, for Mirandus at least. So,
Yep.
Yeah, dude, I just, I'm waiting for where they're selling some sort of weapon or livestock, right? Where's the livestock? What come first, the chicken or the egg, right?
You stop that right now, sir.
Yeah, right. So as a horse guy, right, you're breeding horses. What's your thoughts on that, right? You're wanting to breed horses, so are you expecting the horses to be given to you, or do you have to buy your first horses?
I would hope that we get some kind of like package deal, because I mean, are we setting foundation? Am I gonna have to go out and like hustle up money as well now to build my stables up? Like, or is there like a kit it's gonna come as a kit, like it's auto body, you set the land and you got a building there? Or
I don't know. If you have a stable, does a horse get airdropped to your stable?
Yeah,
or do you buy the horse?
Go out or like try to capture the horse, or
that'd be cool. That'd be cool. But
so,
there's always something they're going to be buy. Yeah, there's always going to be something to buy. So
absolutely,
the store is always going to have something in it. You missed out on the deeds, right? This is it. But as the saw, that's from the Gala store, right? Nothing's actually sold out. You can go on the secondary market and all that shit's still for sale, right? At a higher markup, of course, but that's the great thing about player assets.
Some things are completely sold out and you ain't going to get it on the store yet. Because I've been chasing that large archery thing for a minute and it hasn't come up for a while.
Even on open seas?
Yeah, like it doesn't exist.
Well, I don't know. If it's something you want, keep your eye out on open seas, and there's always that option to get it.
Well, actually, no, we don't even have the Gala like store thing where you could go in Discord and like talk about what you want. I think they got rid of that.
Oh, I don't even know what that is. What is that?
The Gala Market thing that we used to have, where we all used to be able to talk about secondhand trades in Gala.
Oh, yeah, like a webhook to OpenSea.
Yeah. all that
Well,
stuff's gone. So,
and normally,
but
all
I'm
right,
sure you can still make a post in there that you're looking for something like that, and I'm sure somebody will
sure,
reach out to
sure.
you.
There's always a way. If there's a will, there's a way, right?
Mhm.
So after that, there's we'll get a guy in there being like, he can't believe that there's no game yet, and we're spending the money on these items. So why did you spend your money on these items, man? Why did you put this much money into a game that doesn't exist yet?
I did a lot of drugs growing up, so no. uh, I believe in Michael McCarthy's. Like I know what he built on Facebook, and
Bingo,
like this whole
bingo.
background. So to me, out of all the concepts of that are out there, the projects and stuff, he has the biggest like winning boat, honestly, as to everybody else. And I've got connections to everybody. Like I talk to all the owners and whatnot. So I believe in Sebastian and the Sandbox, and you know what I mean, and all of them. But like you came in swinging with Michael McCarthy as like this main person, and you're like Farmville and all these other games. I didn't play those games, but I know if the man comes out saying I'm building this and tying blockchain to it, and that's like he's already got a massive following to it. Like look in Discord, there's like what 14, 15,000 people or something, 13,000 people in Gala right now.
Man, it was like at least 30, 40,000 in Discord. So
Yeah, well, see, even better. So like,
yeah,
and I'm in a lot of projects. The only one that I know that's like big like that is the Sandbox, because it's and Decentraland. But even Decentraland's not popping. Like, Gala's always moving.
yeah. I don't know. My issue is, or at least what happened to me, was me just looking for a blockchain game. And it come down between Ember Sword and Mirandus. And what pushed me over the edge for Mirandus over Ember Sword was the node system and the decentralization of it. And also because of Michael McCarthy. I'm like, why? Well, what pushed me is like, all right, so when I bought my first deed, I just, I was trying to get my wife to convince me, do what you want to do, right? But all she would tell me is like, is that I'm buying Beanie Babies, right? So she was no help. But it was the price doubling. The price doubling was happening overnight. I don't know if you remember when they was going to double the price of deeds.
Oh, I've been here since day one, so
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know.
So I was watching for a while, right? And I was just like, I'm interested in this. I'm like, I was in that same boat. Why would anybody, there's no game yet. Why would anybody pay this much money for something like this? This is dumb, right? And then I started
Yeah,
researching into it, and I went back to their past videos, watching their videos, and Michael McCarthy, and then I started researching Michael McCarthy, and then Eric and his company before then, the Words with Friends and Zanga, and just looking at them and seeing what Michael put out in game wise. I'm just like, well, I mean, here's some guy. They're all putting themselves out there, right? They're building something. This stuff's brand new. It's never been done before. I looked at the node system, the IPFSs, and how IPFS works, and just ton of research. Doing my own due diligence, right? And I still had an issue, but the price doublings would push me to. They didn't even say price doubling. They're just like, we're increasing the price. I'm like, I'm just gonna buy it. So I bought it. I didn't think they'd double it, but I was happy with what I saw. But when they doubled the price, I was like, cool, man. At least I can put on open season, maybe get my money back. But then just watching the project evolve and just watching the people come in, and they're like the community. They talk about, you hear Bibbenner saying, we got the best community. Everybody's community is the best community, right? No, Gala really does, I feel, have the best community. I mean, it's everybody's helpful. Everybody is great. It's just so easy. I mean, jump in there and it's just a shitload of their own employees in there. And they're pulling new employees from Gala's chat, right? From the Gala Discord. And everybody's involved with it. Everybody's open and they're talking, and it's just like, it's great. It's just transparent. And I don't know. But those were the frequently asked questions that I'm seeing the most. It's like, when game, and why would you buy this stuff, right? Everything's sold out. Looks like I missed out. No, you didn't miss out. The third biggest thing is PvP. I see a lot of people asking about PvP.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Listen, I don't think Gala's going to get away with not having PvP. But, they say this is what's important.
Arena battle.
Yeah, I mean, you got to do something, right? So you can't make it suck. McCarthy's right on that. You can't be walking out the gates and getting clubbed, right? So it's got to be opt-in PvP, right? So you got to kind of agree to the terms. Now, I think you had an idea that you were talking about one time that would work really good. And that's in having the island or a land, and you would compete for the resources, right?
Mm.
So it'd be like, you got these 5 kingdoms, right? And here's this island or this land, and you compete maybe on a weekly basis. There's a competition, and I don't know, whoever capture the flag, whatever you want to do on this land of a PvP battle, earns rights to that resources, and whoever's sworn to this kingdom gets those resources or able to go and collect those resources. I don't know. There's all kinds of things you can do with it. Yeah. I don't know. What do you think on PvP?
I'm too involved with what you just talked about, so I don't want to cover that too much.
You don't want to cover.
That's kind of involving what I'm building right now, so I'm kind of like,
Well, let me throw in some.
I think PvP is a big deal because most of us, like, I come from the line of PvP. For me, PvE is for building. Like, that's all I ever do in PvE. It's where I go.
And character
I have to worry
building.
about dinosaurs or something maybe attacking me at most, but I don't have to worry about somebody else smashing my stuff or stealing my stuff while I'm doing it.
It's crafting and character building, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much what I see it as. That's my my what do you call it? Blueprints or whatever. I go over and build my base over there. I don't have nobody spying on me or anything. Resources are rather easily to get because, like, you're not competing with other people. So to me, that's that side. But I don't focus. Honestly, I put zero effort into playing that type of a game for game purposes usually because it's boring to me. Like, I like to have command or be a part of a command and go annihilate another base and stuff, or you know what I mean, or try to make allies and whatnot and control and combat a certain country that decided they wanted to hack entire servers and stuff. And even though we weren't using codes, we were still able to manage to hold off and give them days of war. You know what I mean? Stuff like that's fun to me.
Yeah, I think what it comes down to is just PvP is competition. So competition's like, you got your, PvE, which is, your character build, your crafting, your character building, right? You're just playing the game, having fun, whatever. PvP is like competitive. So
Yeah.
is there other ways to do competitive? Now I'll scan chat every now and then.
Marketing and stuff.
Sure. But I forget who mentioned this. Somebody, Grandmaster, it might have been his name, but he mentioned something about snowball fights. And I don't know the context of the snowball fights, but it was some sort of competition within Mirandus. And that just opened up, like, just reading snippets of, comments from people in the chats is just
like actual snowballs, like what WoW did? Or?
Yeah, just actual snowball fights. I'm like, dude, you can do a lot with snowball fights, right? So you could have a Winterfest. And maybe it's like just a competition between the 5 kingdoms. And you have snowball fights, right? And then you have hits that you hit another person with a snowball fight. Nobody loses anything, right? There's no risk. Nobody dies. But, that kingdom gets a point for if you hit them with a snowball. And, at the end of the event, whoever has the most snowball hits gets, I don't know, that kingdom, whoever set their loyalty to that kingdom would get this certain NFT or a badge or some sort of,
I just see them selling snowballs now.
Well, you'd put it like, maybe it'd be like, there's a pile of snow out there and you're able to collect, I don't know, like 10 snowballs from a pile of snow before it disappears. Rather than selling snowballs. Hey, Gala's got to make their money, man. This is how we get more content.
5 snowballs.
I don't know. I see a lot of ideas like that in chat, man. You know what? Maybe that's a good idea. Maybe I should be pulling people from chat, maybe I should have them on here, right? Maybe that's what we should be doing. Maybe I should post this in the Gala chat, just because it's frequently asked questions. I mean, it's going nowhere in our guild. It's like hidden in the back corner that help answer people. So maybe I'll throw that in there. They got the frequently asked questions. I'm sure it'll get buried because the whole reason the podcast I built was just like, throw out all these.
Bender in here. All the other ones have gotten.
Well, he couldn't answer anything. We're all speculation. He's just going to tell us I don't know the whole time, right? I can't say that the whole time. It'd be great, but I'm just going to drill him with questions that he can't really answer, either because he can't or he just don't know, or it's just I don't know. But like maybe we should have just dudes come on from Gala. We just bring them on the show, man. I mean, we'll get like, I don't know, like 3 dudes, 2 dudes. They come in and they got ideas and they just spill out the ideas and we dissect those ideas and see what we can come up with it. I hear Carrie's taking notes. There was they have a Town Star AMA yesterday, and they talk about Carrie like takes notes down from the Discord and writes them down. They're good ideas, I don't know. I mean, we do that and have some audio files and. Mike can just, he's building the game and he can just, you ain't got to read nothing. You ain't got to watch nothing. You can just listen to the podcast and listen to different ideas that everybody from the community comes on and just shoots their ideas and we dissect them, see how they work in the game. I don't know. All experimentation, man. Just having fun, right? I don't know.
Anyway, need somebody to volunteer to take notes then, because my brain's too mushy for that right now.
Yeah. Anyways, I hear Carrie's taking notes. So, you guys throw out some ideas for the game and whatever. I don't know. Maybe we can do that. I don't know. What do you think? Somebody send Punjab a message. If you got an idea you want to come on the podcast. What kind of idea you got? And maybe we get you on the show and shit, man. Just dissect it down, man. Maybe his son becomes a son. Maybe not. We'll see. All right.
Buy a horse.
What is it?
I said buy a horse.
Buy a horse. All right.
Buy a horse.
Anyways, that's the most frequently asked questions that I see, but what the hell is that? I think it's raining out.
My favorite question, who wants to buy a horse?
Everybody wants to buy a horse. Everybody's going to need a house. Unless you're one of them super fast halflings that run super fast.
I'm still going to run past you. I'm a horse.
Yeah.
I gallop by you.
All right. So, you missed out on the test, right?
Yes, I did. I couldn't get in. Sold out pretty much.
Man, that was a lot of people's gig too. I made it in. It was cool. I mean, it was like, very basic, right? You just run around and, they put a deed out there. I think a lot of people said, I think it was a outpost. They put an outpost out there. Super basic, man. There wasn't a lot to it.
Did you kill all the rabbits?
Nah, there wasn't anything going there. It was just, you just run around, man. It was just I think he was testing events, right? Just how many people.
Testing.
Yeah. I mean, I think he got to a max of 100, man. And he was saying, they wanted to break it. I thought Eric was saying he wanted to bust it up to like, let's see if we get 500 people in there. And McCarthy's like, no, if we do that, everybody's going to be at 1 frame per second. It's going to suck. Nobody's going to move and yada, yada. But, I took a couple pictures in here. And I think the coolest part of it all, dude, out of all of it, was the sun, the daylight, the lighting system, right? Because you could see the sun roll over the sky and the shadows changing on the ground, right? All the way to pitch black. Dude, it was dark. When it got dark, dude, it was dark. You hit that F key to turn on your torch. They called it flashlight. But, you get a perimeter, maybe like 10 feet around you, a little less of what you can see. And then you get shadows
the
way out
value
there.
of that.
Yeah, dude, it was dark. So,
What is it, an orc or something that had the ability to see in the dark?
yeah, well, the orc, they could see life, right? Like hostile enemies or rabbits or whatever they could see.
Which one was it could see night vision?
Was there a night? I think it was a dwarf. Wasn't a dwarf see? Yeah,
Yeah.
dwarf saw night. It was an
Dwarf,
orc.
yeah.
Yeah, orc was the one. Yeah, dwarf could see night vision. But
So that one's got value now at night because if you can't see anything.
right. But yeah, a lot of these are pretty cool. They did like a competition in the middle of it. Whoever can get us the coolest picture, man, we'll give you an exemplar, right? So I'm just running all over the place, man, trying to take pictures to get a cool one so I can win an exemplar. But, I collected a bunch. I should have did some video, but I don't think I could have, at least on this laptop, be able to do video and run the game. And I had I think 20 tabs of something open and some other stuff, but I don't know. It was pretty cool. So I got a picture of a character in that one. It's just cool to all see it come, we're waiting for this game to play, getting to play this game and seeing it.
Progression.
Yeah, progression and just seeing it come to life, man. You just get out there and kind of here I got one of inside the building again, trying to get a cool shot. The one sun. But I don't know. Not a lot to say about the test server. I mean, it was pretty basic. It was like, I don't know, like playing Minecraft but better graphics and you can't do anything. But the idea was to test it, right? But anyways, last thing I wanted to touch on was a sanctuary. So I guess the 12th is they're going to auction these off, and there's 8 of them. Did you get to read the article at all?
I got it slightly through most of it. I understand the process of what they're trying to do with it, or what their intentions of it is.
I had a lot of questions on this too. Like a lot of questions, and I got one answered out of Bitbender that's not out there. Is who's producing these items? Is a player producing the items, or is the game producing the items? That the new player comes in and buys. They get a pack, right? Who knows what's in that pack? A sword, some clothes, whatever, just a starter pack, right? Well, the game is providing this. So if you own this building, or if you end up owning this building, the game provides that you don't have to provide these items or buy these items to make packs. But I did have a lot of questions out of this. So they're going to auction these off. All 100% of the auctions going to go to charity. I have no idea which charity they'll go to. It's between Opera. Gala Games is going to do this. It's a grand sanctuary. So I don't know if that means that there will be large sanctuaries, sanctuary stands. I don't know if that's a thing or not. Anything that...
They got a sanctuary hitching post.
Yeah, I don't know. So there's going to be 8 of them, as far as my understanding. And all the proceeds made from the sanctuary is said it is split between the sanctuary owner and whatever charity. I don't know which charity. I don't know if you're a sanctuary owner, if you can designate the charity, or if that's Opera's gig, or if that's Gala's gig, or what. But I guess before the auction, they're supposed to answer more questions about the sanctuary or whatever. But my question is, before, all right, let's act like I was buying this. I'm not buying this because I don't know anything about this thing, right? So I have to split my profits with the donations, right? What's the split? Is it 50-50? Is it 20-80? I assume it's 50-50. Why else would you call it a split? Yeah, we're splitting it, right? Down the middle. But that was never said either. So a lot of questions I have on this was it will be a library, it will be a school and an outfitter and a mission house. That brings other questions. What's a library, dude? Are you learning patterns at the sanctuary? Is this bring up like new buildings in the future? Could there be a library building? A school? I assume the school's a tutorial. So I remember in some past podcasts, we were talking about the starting area. Where do you start Mirandus? I log into Mirandus the first time. Where do I start off at? What was we saying? Is it like
the center,
the town square or something, like in the center?
Yeah.
And then we would have some sort of tutorial. Well, I assume the school is the tutorial, right? I imagine every player will start here. Now, Bitbender says we don't have to use the sanctuary. We don't have to buy swords here. But players won't know that. I imagine the tutorial will tell them, here, buy a sword over here, right?
Unless you're adopted in by a friend or somebody, you're going to go there and buy your sword.
Right. So, yeah, I assume the sanctuary will kind of put you in that place where it's like, this is the tutorial. They're a mission house too, so they're going to give you a mission after you get your stuff. Go out and get some of these items or kill this thing or whatever and come back and see me, right? And it's just goes from there. Because you can see it's got an outfitter too, so you can buy clothes. I don't know what the library is unless you're learning some sort of patterns, or I assume the school is the got to be the tutorial. But my further questions go ahead.
They might have it set up to where, like in WoW, you would go to different teachers in order to passive to get your upgrades level.
Yeah,
I mean, you would have to.
But and doing that, you would be learning about the game, so it's also a tutorial.
True.
But you're getting rewards on the way, which is also fills in the mission house. Some of the rewards might be clothing, which is an outfitter. Or you might learn a pattern to learn how to make this type of food, which is the library. So I don't know how that works. But the question is, so the stuff that you get, whether it's from the outfitter or whatever you're getting, is that lesser items than people that are crafting? So act like you were an outfitter and you're crafting these items. Well,
are you being robbed now?
Are you being robbed now? Or is the items lesser than? And even if you are being robbed now, eventually Mirandus is going to be these crafters are going to be putting out so many. So say like, for example, the Sanctuary is going to give you a sword, going to give you a long sword, right? Sanctuary is giving you a long sword. Yeah, sure, you pay for it, right? You're paying for, the help of the Sanctuary. That's how they get their profits. At some point, if crafters are making long swords or two, long swords are going to end up flooding the market, right? And the price is going to depreciate. What would be the next? Give me the next sword above a long sword. What would be a better sword than a long sword?
You'd probably start with a short sword and then go to a long sword.
Okay, well, we'll say it was a short sword, and then you go to a long sword. Even though, ignore the one-hand, two-hand thing, okay? Just say a better sword, right? There's a better sword available now for the same price. Right. So you're getting a short sword through the Sanctuary. Well, the short swords are like now oversaturating the markets because crafters are making so many of them. Now long swords are better and cheaper than the Sanctuary.
Well, I would assume that anything that you get from the Sanctuary wouldn't be on the market for any crafter. It would be a basic type thing that is established between that Sanctuary and the newcomer that's doing its thing. So, like it's a burn item. Once you get your better items, you're probably just going to ditch it, or it's not even an NFT type scenario. You know what I mean?
Right. But what happens once you buy the Sanctuary item and there's already better items for a better price or an equal price? So then the Sanctuary is going to have to upgrade the bag system, right? Like, listen, we can't we need to update their items that they're getting. And then that market
Well,
might fluctuate too. Like somebody's buying all the long swords and melting them down, and who knows, man.
yeah, with the melting down though, now you got the burn system there, so the system doesn't get flooded as heavily.
Yeah, but it's still like, you're just crafting to level up the crafting, and then you flood the market full of these swords, and they're cheaper than what you can buy it through the sanctuary. I don't know. I'm just these ideas are just popping in my head. Like, if I was to buy, like, how much you think the sanctuary will sell for? There's only 8. What do you think it'll sell for?
Lowest in, I would assume around 30, high in around 60.
ETH?
No, 60,000 cash. We're talking like cash.
Yeah, like 30. That's 30 ETH, right? Somewhere close to there. 2,000 in ETH, 60.
I don't follow the market that much right now, so I wasn't sure.
ETH wise, how much you think it'd sell for?
What is ETH at? 23, 28?
About 2K right now.
Oh.
It don't matter, down. Dude. It's FOMO. It's FOMO over the building. There's 8 of them.
Probably I would say around 15 to 20 ETH or so.
Yeah, that sounds fair.
I mean, it's just going by what the vault went for, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm just curious.
But now we've got a bigger
vaults
demand.
Vaults are bigger, I think. Yeah, there is a bit, there's a lot more people involved. There's less. I think there's 10 vaults. There's only 8 of these. There's still more vaults to be sold, I think, too. But, yeah.
I think there needs to be a little bit more information because the crowd that's here now is demanding more than what we were. They're
supposed to give it, but this is the information that I would want, right? Because not only am I buying this, but donations are taken a split, even though I don't know what that split is. I'm just assuming it's 50-50. I don't know if the spot is designatedly given to me. Now, vaults, I hear vaults, that spot, you don't have to pay for it. It's in the design to just, you have a spot for the vault. At least that's what I'm told.
Pauly pays the rent.
Yeah, Paulian's paying the rent. But is somebody paying the rent for the sanctuary, or do you have to also take a split and pay the rent, right, on top of hoping new players use your sanctuary?
Probably set up like I'm assuming Opera was going to operate it just like Pauly would at that point. Then they pay everything on that side and take their percentage because they're advertising. It's not just they're involved in the game; they're also advertising at this point. We're talking about them.
Sure. Which is cool. It's cool that Opera's involved with Gala as well. So, I mean, that's really cool.
Yeah, so I'm assuming, like, maybe you do have to pay part of the rent, but I would assume that because they're the size that they are and the money that you're pulling out of your pocket, they're getting a percentage of that. So I would assume that, like, you've already paid your fee to get in at this point. Now you're just advertising Opera at this point by owning their building.
All right.
Like, it has its purpose, but you're still it's an Opera building. It's not your building. It belongs to Opera in a sense.
I wonder where
you own the NFT.
I wonder if you get to choose the donations. Like, what do you want to donate to? If you own the building, I'm like, hey, my 50%, I want my 50% to go to this. There's some value in there. If the owner of the building gets to choose where the money is donated to, that's pretty cool. That would be really cool. So cool.
School art.
Yeah, dude. That'd be slick. I'd be about that. I don't know. What are we at? 38 minutes. Wow, that went quick. Shit. I don't know, man. What would you think about having some dudes just randomly out of Gala, man? You got some ideas. Just evolve the show into that. Like, just come on here and we'll sling out some random ideas. What would be cool for Mirandus. And then just dissect those ideas all the way down, man. See if they're cool or how cool they can be. Elaborate onto them. I think that'd be pretty slick.
Yeah, it's a lot of guys in there that have been in here from the go, and then get from their perspective, and then get some of the newer guys to come in.
Create an audio library, right? Audio books of ideas for Michael McCarthy to like just chill out and listen to as he codes the game. Who knows? I don't know. I guess message Punjab, is that too much? You think I'll get flooded with that? ended up posting
Never
this
know.
podcast on Gala.
Send donations to Punjab.
Listen, I don't need
Ether wallet
donations.
is.
I just love talking about the game. This is so fun. Yeah, right. Send me nothing except your knowledge. All right. We'll end it there. Peace.